Hello everyone. Soldier is a unique class in sixes in the sense that he has the most viable unlocks that you can use. Now that being said, most soldiers are going to be running just stock gunboats and then a melee of their choice most of the time, just because that's reliable in every situation, versus a lot of his unlocks, such as the banners or, for example, some other situational stuff. Banners is a big one, like Pain Train, for example, stuff like that. Those are stronger situationally, and mantras as well, for that matter. And it, people just forget to switch a lot of the time, truthfully. But notice when I said, as far as the default loadout is concerned, I said stock, gunboats, and then a melee of your choice. That's what I want to key in on today, because the primary two melee weapons that a soldier will use are the Market Gardener and the Escape Plan. These are the two big ones. Pain Train is, again, pretty situational. And also, Pain Train, for that matter, is like playstyle dependent, I've found, where you have some soldiers that really like the Pain Train and really get a lot of use out of it, and others that just don't even touch it. And it has very little to do with how good they are at soldier or something. It is, like, again, just a playstyle kind of difference, which is a little unique. Other weapons, that's not really the case so much. But anyway, I want to talk about the difference between the Escape Plan and the Market Gardener, because I think where you might want to use one or the other is a little counterintuitive as far as the distinction between the soldier roles, right, of Pocket and Roamer. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between Pocket and Roamer. In the modern TF2 metagame, there isn't a huge difference, I will say, in the sense that they are both running gunboats. They are both going to try and be highly mobile. They are both a little bit expendable at times. Pocket, of course, you'd like to be living a little more than the Roamer, and you definitely don't want to both be dying at the same time. That's usually pretty bad. But the roles are pretty interchangeable in the sense that, if your Pocket is dead, for example, and you need a soldier to bomb and make space for a combo to push, then your Roamer can absolutely rotate over to the combo and do that job during that. Likewise, if you are trying to sack and your Roamer, let's say, got the kill that you're trying to sack off of and is very weak, and your Pocket, who's healthy, sees a timing in which they might get a successful sack off, then by all means, they can be the one communicating to the other, like, hey, I can go right now, I have a good sack. And the Roamer can be like, sure, go for it. And, yeah, so you can see how there's fluidity between the two roles, but overall, Pocket is going to be playing with or near the combo and getting a lot more heals. Versus the Roamer is going to be playing on the flank, much more isolated, much more pack dependent, although both soldier roles are absolutely going to be very health pack happy. So, and also the Roamer is going to be doing the majority of the sacks, especially those aggressive sacks when you're the attacking team with control of mid, because it's times like those that you get to control the pace of the game, meaning kind of that opportunistic Pocket sees an opportunity. I just used the same word twice. Pocket sees, maybe a timing type of deal is going to be a lot less common, because you have all the time in the world to buff your soldiers before sacking your Roamer and actually pressure a door and whatnot. So Roamer's going to be sacking most of the time. So on top of the fact as well, I should mention that a lot of people still have this misconception that you need to have the Escape Plan on Pocket in order to do the rollout correctly. Because for those who don't know, like the heal order or rollout order on a 5CP map, you have your Pocket soldier do static jumps in the spawn in order to get kind of a head start. And a lot of the time, they do use the Escape Plan to then just run to the front lines before getting arrowed and buffed. The only thing that really matters is that you are at mid, or like at the door to mid, by the time your team is showing up. And the big thing is that you have crit heals, because your crit heals are going to be a big component of that. Whether you use the Escape Plan or not to get there really doesn't matter that much. And in fact, if you use the Escape Plan, you're going to be showing up so much earlier that you would have had like crit heals multiple times over. So you could actually substitute some of that running for like an early jump or something, so as to still preserve crit heals and yada yada. So yeah, the escape plan you don't need for the rollout necessarily. But a combination of that, plus the fact that there's this perception that the Market Gardener is like really good for sacks, kind of paints this perspective that the Pocket Soldier should be using the escape plan and the Roamer should be using the Market Gardener. And this isn't the case, like at all. In the sense that there's definitely a lot more personal agency there. Like I said, you know, the Pocket Soldier is absolutely freed up to use whatever melee they want because they're not restricted by the rollout, for example. But there's absolutely use cases for the opposite to be true, for there to be a lot of benefit in the escape plan as a roamer and a lot of benefit to the Market Gardener as a pocket. And let's talk about that for a bit. So for starters, the benefits of each weapon. So the escape plan is quite self-explanatory. When you're weak, you can pull it out and run really fast. This isn't necessarily a strong combat tool, in the sense that you take mini crits, so you're not really going to be living long after you pull out the escape plan. But in some cases, actually, if you are quite weak, especially, you know, Soldier is a class that has very limited ammo, both reserve and loaded. Meaning, if you do, for example, a 2-rocket bomb, which is just a standard high bomb, you rocket jump off the floor and then do a wall shot, and then you use your other 2 rockets or something, a lot of the time you're going to be so weak that you will not be able to reload and fire a rocket by the time you die. And in a case like that, you are just a sitting duck. However, in the case that you have the escape plan, for example, if you are quite weak, then in some cases you can pull it out and close whatever small gap you had from where you landed and where the opponent is that you got some damage on with your rockets in order to get one swing in. This can matter a lot against any number of targets, but particularly against like a medic in some cases, if you're bombing a medic. Can be quite useful for that. But also just as a general traversal tool, it's very nice. If you're very weak as a soldier and a health pack is available but not nearby, then the escape plan lets you get there a lot faster. Especially in those cases where you are so weak that you can't do a rocket jump. Because, you know, even if you're like 30 HP, then a lot of the time, you can get away with 1 rocket jump at the very least. Which definitely helps you close the distance towards a health pack. But the escape plan absolutely makes that process easier, and then you can get your health pack and get back in the action faster. So that's where the escape plan definitely thrives as a weapon. But let's talk about the Market Gardener. So the Market Gardener, of course, is well known for just doing a lot of damage. You can one-shot most classes that aren't buffed. Soldiers are very rarely, unbuffed soldiers are very rarely actually at 200 HP, because if they've done even 1 rocket jump, then suddenly they're in a position where they can get one shot. So it's just really powerful at killing players. Now, of course, this can be good as like just a kill medic tool, but I think that starts to fall off when you get in more skilled play where scouts are better at shooting soldiers and denying their bombs. You won't be able to just spoon sack into someone. On a like fast rollout to mid plan though, absolutely, like going for a Market Garden on the demo or something is a viable strategy. But against like teams that are set up in a hold or something, it's definitely going to fall off in efficacy. However, where the spoon really shines is in the fact that you get to preserve so much ammo by going for a kill with it. Because no matter what, as a soldier, a lot of your kills are going to be from rocket jump bombing onto a target and killing them, right? Whether you do this with the rockets or the Market Gardener really only has a bearing on how much ammo you have afterwards. Because if you're going to bomb, for example, an unbuffed demo, if you do so by, let's say, doing like a high bomb, and you land on them and then 2-rocket them, because, you know, you're close enough range that they die in 2 rockets, then you're out of rockets at that point. Or if you only did like a 1-rocket jump instead of a 2-rocket jump, then you only have 1 left. You can maybe jump away, but again, not much ammo. Versus if you do the exact same play with the Market Gardener, then you're still killing them, only in this case, you have either 2 or 3 rockets still loaded, depending on how many rockets you use to bomb in. Meaning you could bomb into a demo who's like in a clump of players in the combo, kill them, and then still have enough ammo to kill everyone else afterwards if you don't die before then. So the Market Gardeners... wow, that was a crazy clutch. I didn't remember that at all. So the fact that the Market Gardener allows you to... it allows you to preserve ammo specifically is one of the main draws of the weapon, in my opinion. It's not just the one-shot potential, but it's the fact that that ammo preservation is really, really useful on Soldier. So with those positives and negatives in mind, let us kind of explore how those fit in with the different roles of a pocket and a roamer. So, as you might expect, a roamer is definitely going to benefit way more from being able to traverse with the escape plan than a pocket will. Because a pocket is already a role that is much closer to the heals and much higher on the heal order, in the sense that usually arrows are much more available for a pocket. So the downside of like having to traverse between health packs and stuff like that is way less pronounced, and it's just not as strong as it would be on roamer, who is again much less heal dependent and might be on a complete other side of the map as their medic. And so being able to actually move quickly is quite nice. I should mention as well that the kind of chase down a player just to get that one swing off with the escape plan is extremely useful in a roamer context when you're sacking onto a medic. Where, you use all your rockets, you're going to die before you reload another, so you may as well go for that one salvage swing. Any other melee would not let you be fast enough in order to actually get the hit off and chase down the target, and only the escape plan can. So those are 2 really powerful use cases for the escape plan on roamer. That being said, as far as Market Gardener on pocket goes, pockets absolutely love being able to preserve that ammo. Specifically, if you're like bombing a target that is on your combo, which is something that a pocket will do very often, is counter bomb those people that are trying to kill their combo members in order to help clean them up and play defensively around their combo. Being able to Market Garden that guy and still have most of your ammo loaded is absolutely wonderful. On top of the fact that the Market Gardener is most powerful at killing players that are completely oblivious to you, which is, again, part of the reason why its efficacy as a sacking weapon is a little bit diminished. Yeah, so for that reason, again, it's just going to be really strong at getting those kills on, getting those defensive kills on players in your combo, for example. So another case where having the Market Gardener as a pocket can be quite nice. Now, that being said, I'm not trying to paint the picture that, as opposed to escape plan on pocket and Market Gardener on roamer, you should be doing the exact opposite. It is ultimately a matter of preference, but I do think that there's a case to be made for the opposite, I suppose, in the sense that these weapons do provide some unique bonuses for these roles that might slot a little bit nicer than on the contrary. But again, did I just say again twice? It is personal preference at the end of the day, but don't feel particularly shoehorned into one or the other, because they are actually both quite useful. Now, I do want to let this spy play ring out, because I do remember this, and like, look, the amount of patience here. Oh my god, this was crazy, and boom, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna end it with that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.